Electric Soup Kitchen.
Well, first of all, Richard, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's a year,
Oh,
1 year old birthday.
what was the cake?
There was cake, yeah, but I ate it waiting for you to log in. It's 11:30 in London.
And it's 10:30 in sunny Schuylerville, not Albany.
Oh, you're not in Albany, you're in Skyville.
Yes.
How far away is that from Albany?
About 60 miles.
You see, in the UK, that would be a big move.
Hey, it was a big move here for me.
But not in distance, but not in terms of within a state, it's not, is it?
No.
Hey, for the birthday issue, I've bought a new microphone.
Woohoo.
So we should sound a little better. I've done the idents, like the Soup Kitchen ident. I've sort of remixed them a little bit. So they've got stereo panning bubbles if anybody's listening on their iPod. And that's about it, really. I couldn't think of anything else to do. Jim Connolly, regular listeners will know him from episode 2. He sent music in His Friends of Batman, and then the Batman comic that was in last month that people could have go and download for free that he did. He's been a big contributor since we started, and he's written as a song.
But that'd be good.
Yeah, but it's not a birthday song. It's about the Phantom Crapper.
Hey, a ballad.
The ballad of the... It could be like a sad folk song, couldn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah, eventually TV, the film of the month.
Anyway, so he's still around, and he's also sent us in... Jim also sent me in a story that I'll read out later on before we play his Phantom Crapper song. So we've got that. We've got all the usual stuff. We didn't start with some new music because the music that I'm going to play in a minute needs a bit of an explanation. And it's a band called the Legion of Rock Stars. And what they do is they play live, and when they practice, they wear headphones that are noise-cancelling headphones, and they play along to the original tracks. So all they can hear in their headphones is the original song. But all their instruments are plugged in, and they're singing and playing along with their instruments, but they can't hear themselves. So they sound like rock stars to themselves. But the actual, when you hear the music, it sounds terrible. And they play live. They do concerts like this where they all have headphones on. There's a picture in the iTunes window if anybody can see it. They all have headphones on, and they play all the classic songs. And I'll read you the email. When I wrote to the guy called Tom to get permission, see if I could play. Van Halen's Jump is what I'm going to play. And I said, so is that how it works? You can't hear anything but the song. And this is what he said. That is exactly correct. We're all plugged into a headphone amp with the volume cranked up really loud. The volume is really what blocks out most of our own sound. I must say, you cannot imagine the pleasure of performing live, playing and singing your heart out, but hearing the full volume original song instead of yourself. So, I'd love to see them.
It's true. It's like a sort of virtual reality for music.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if you're playing the worst guitar solo in the world, if you can hear the original, then you're a rock star. So anyway, check them out. They're on YouTube, Legion of Rock Stars, and you can find them on their webpage, which I haven't got that detail in front of me. I'll read that out at the end. I'll play another Legion of Rock Stars song at the end, and I will give the webpage details. So here is the first one, Van Halen's Jump by the Legion of Rock Stars.
Get up!
it's all around. And I know, baby, just how you feel. To roll with the punches till the deal. And can't you see I got in here? I got my back against the record machine. I ain't the words that you see. I ain't the see what I mean. Might as well, might as well jump. Jump! Yeah, jump! Jump! And jump! Jump! My hand, jump! Jump! Oh, hey, who said that? Baby, how you been? You say you don't know, you don't know until we begin. You see, I'm landing here, I got my back against the wrecking machine. I ain't the worst that we be. I ain't to see what I mean. Ow, might as well jump. Jump! Go ahead, jump. Jump! Well, jump. Jump! Go ahead and jump. They'll jump, jump! My land, jump! Jump! And jump, jump! Go ahead, jump! Jump! Yeah! Jump! Jump! Jump!
Do you want to know who we share our birthday with?
Who do we share our birthday with?
Liam Neeson,
Hmm?
Paddy McAloon. Oh, Paddy McAloon. Do you know who that is?
No.
He's the singer-songwriter out of Prefab Sprout.
Oh, wow. Well then.
And another interesting connection is on the iTunes, if you search for Soup Kitchen, Prefab Sprout have got a song called The Venus of the Soup Kitchen. And if you rank in popularity, this month was the first time we'd passed Venus of the Soup Kitchen in downloads. So there won't be a lot of people downloading Venus of the Soup Kitchen, but we beat them this month. And Prince.
He shares his birthday with us.
We share a birthday with Prince. On the day the first episode went out, which I think was the 27th of June, we share that birthday with those people. But also on that day, Dennis Potter and Max Factor died.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've been doing my research. Anyway, it's the 10th episode, which means we haven't done one a month, but we've done 10. That's not bad, is it?
No.
You can't complain
We
about that.
tried.
Yeah, we tried our hardest. And sometimes if you try your hardest, Richard, that's all that people can ask for. Anyway, in London, it's the end of days. We've got floods, car bombs. They've had, like, South Yorkshire, Sheffield, has been really badly hit. A lot of Yorkshire, East Yorkshire's are quite badly hit. Hull, a guy drowned in Hull trying to unblock his grandfather's drain. He got his foot stuck in the drain, and no, he didn't drown. Sorry, he didn't drown. He got hypothermia. He got his foot stuck in the drain. So it's not good. I mean, it's been raining constantly for days. It's been raining on and off for what seems like a month, and it's just miserable. Do you think it's global warming?
It could be.
What's the weather like in Albany? Is it warm?
It's been gorgeous. It's been red hot. In the top between the 70s and the 90s.
Does it make you feel a bit smug?
No, 'cause it's a little too warm for me.
Right.
When it gets to the 90s, but you have to have the air on and stuff. No, we've had a few storms race through there. Whenever we get a cold front, it creates a huge sort of thunderstorms in the area.
Are you one of those
We've
people?
had a few flash floods, but not exactly where we are.
Are you one of those people who, like, when it's cold, you're like, oh, I wish it would warm up, and then when it warms up, you're like, oh, it's too hot.
What, Rona?
Yeah.
Truth is stranger than fiction. And this is the proof. This is Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Bono was a French dwarf. He was only 18 inches tall at the age of 11. However, he ate 40 large cucumbers, 30 figs, and a whole watermelon for dessert each day. Believe it or not. In a moment, I'll tell you about the guard who was faithful even after death. Stephanos was a guard at the monastery of St. Catherine on biblical Mount Sinai. On his deathbed in the year 580, he pleaded to be permitted to continue his services. This unusual request was honored, and so after his death, Stephanos was placed outside the house of the dead. There, his fully clothed skeleton still guards the entrance today, a macabre reminder of the loyalty of a man many years after his death. Believe it or not.
I finally got my computer hooked up. Managed to get all the Doctor Who's I was missing. I had a little bit of a marathon last 2 nights.
The episodes running up to this final two-parter I thought were brilliant. The Family of Blood and the Blink one.
Family of Blood, I'm not liking too much. I like the idea of it.
Mm.
Yeah, and all the stuff with him.
Yeah.
But I can't stand the guy who plays like the Family of Blood's son.
What, with the scary
He's
eyes?
the worst actor I've ever seen in my life.
He's not that. Why is he bad?
It's just terrible. It's like when he first starts off, he's like playing the idiot schoolboy.
Yeah.
He's like really stiff and crap. And then he's playing the masterful alien.
Yeah.
And he's really crap. So it's consistent. I'll give the lad that.
I think you're being a bit unfair on him. I thought he looked suitably weird.
Oh, it looks weird.
Yeah.
But his acting's still crap.
Okay.
Well, I found it a bit pantomime.
Maybe.
That's the best one I've ever seen.
Blink. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually scared a few times.
It was
Give
brilliant.
little jumps.
It was brilliant. Yeah. I read the statues were actually actors in makeup, so they could pose them.
Oh.
So when you see them, it's actually an actor, but you couldn't tell. It was brilliant. Last week's left me a bit cold. I didn't really enjoy it that much. Have you watched it?
Yeah, it was. It was like a bit boring. So you didn't really understand what was going on as such. But then when the whole master bit came up, that was interesting.
What do you think of John Sims' portrayal of the Master?
I think it'd be good.
Have you not seen him doing it yet?
Yeah, I saw just a little bit at the end of last night.
Yeah, you're talking about the Derek Jacobi episode, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the one after that. There's 2 after that.
Oh, right. Oh, no, I haven't seen any of that yet, then, no.
Yeah,
Oh.
so the one after that is where you see it's all John Sim, and then there's the final, which is tonight. So you've got another 2 episodes to watch. But yeah, I was a bit,
good.
yeah, I was a
I
bit.
look forward to that.
We'll see what you think. We'll talk about it next month and see what you think.
Right.
All right, should we do a bit of news?
Sure.
I've only got one story this month. That's how much preparation I've put in. And it's about a 73-year-old Indian farmer who vowed not to marry before passing his high school exams. And this month, he failed to pass his exams for the 38th time. So he's taken them 38 years in a row. So he's been taking them since the year I was born. He started taking his exams, 1969, and he's failed every year. He was in his 30s when he first decided to get himself to better himself through education. But this year he failed everything except Sanskrit, which is progress. He said he found mathematics especially hard, and he blames that subject for dragging down his score. He was quoted as saying, "Once I pass, I want to get married to a girl who's under 30, who lives alone in a Kahari village in the western desert state of Rajasthan." He is now revising for his 39th attempt next year. He's 73 and he wants to get married to a girl who's under 30 when he passes his exams.
Well, maybe if the teachers told you that at school, you'd have tried harder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, good luck to him, I say.
No, he's trying. He's not daunted by it, obviously. And I'm sure any of us would fail Sanskrit.
Well, it's a credit to him that he hasn't cheated in 38 years. Because I would think around about the 15th year of failing the exams, I would start to think, maybe on the 16th year, I'm going to cheat just to pass. But he hasn't done that. He's obviously tried to do it, unless he's just a really bad cheat. He still just keeps failing. Did you ever try and cheat in an exam?
No.
I once wrote some maths questions that I thought were going to be asked in a maths exam. I once wrote them on the collar of my shirt, so I had like my school jumper over the top. Then I had answers on the collar, but I couldn't really see them properly, and they weren't even asked in the exam. So that was my only attempt at cheating. Although I did think if you hid things in the cistern, you could have a toilet break and go have a look at answers, but
What's the Godfather version of
cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure they've seen it all before. I'm still embarrassed by in one exam, an English exam. I finished early, and I was like just sat there bored, looking around, and I started to bounce the sunlight off my watch face into people's eyes who were sat writing. So I'm just like flashing sunlight into people's eyes until they noticed me. And I looked up. My English teacher was stood on like the stage. He was in the school hall. She stood on the stage, and she was looking at me. And I looked at her, and she just very sadly shook her head. So it still embarrasses me that sort of there really is no hope for you. Was what she was saying.
There was a disabled guy in an electric wheelchair who was crossing the road.
Yeah.
And at the same time, there was a big, huge articulated lorry. And somehow the handle of his wheelchair got caught on the front grille of this juggernaut. And he was taking on a 40-mile-an-hour at the trip for about 10 miles.
I did hear that. He was, and there was a picture of him. It was like he was just welded to the front of the truck, wasn't it?
Yeah, it just completely got it mashed up in there and hooked on. There's nothing the poor guy could do.
But it got up to like a really high speed, didn't it?
Yeah, it's 40, 50 miles an hour down this stretch of road. And there's motorists pulling off and getting on the mobiles, calling it in. 2 undercover cops were chasing the guy. And it wasn't until the guy pulled into his own depot and got out. There's only 2 cops standing there saying, look what you've got on the front of your cab. This is poor disabled guy stuck there.
Because he couldn't see what was on the front of his truck.
Yeah, because it's so high up. It's such a steep angle. One of the news crews gave you like a shot from the driver's point of view. You can barely see a grown man stood up in front of the truck, let alone someone sat down.
But interestingly, the guy sort of in the wheelchair sort of said that he wasn't too frightened, didn't he?
Yeah, no, it was a bit. Yeah, but afterwards he wasn't too frightened. He was a bit scared at the time, obviously.
But if that had been you or me clinging onto the grill of a truck because it was going 60, you'd be screaming your head off.
But the funny thing that shook me was that the guy was out for a ride, as it were, and he also had like a medical aid with him. Was following him on a bike.
Yeah.
And she like turned around for a second, and then he was gone. And it made me laugh, imagining her abject panic at
Where's he gone?
where's the guy in the wheelchair gone? Because it's motorised. It's going to go like 5 miles an hour.
And she'll be like, he can't have gone that far.
And eventually, someone stopped, got out of the car, and said, "He's on the front of that van." Down there, and she called the 911 all in panic. But, I mean, it could have been very serious, but luckily it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, it's just very amusing.
Hello.
Oliver,
Yeah,
how you doing?
good.
Should I
You?
say, yo, Oliver,
What?
what's up? Is that how young people talk to each other?
No, not really.
How do young people talk to each other?
I don't know.
How's it hanging?
I'd say alright to one of my mates, I think.
That's it, all right.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah.
What game are you going to review?
Spider-Man 3.
Wait a minute, just rewind a second. You sound a bit pissed off.
Do I?
Yeah,
Well, I'm not.
you do. You're not pissed off about anything.
No?
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, shoot. Spider-Man 3.
Well, based on the movie, but, you know, it's got side missions that don't really have much to do with it. Like, you get, like street gangs that you've got to stop crime in the city, which is like a whole mission thing which you can just clear out. Once you've done it all, there's not going to be any more like street crime, and then just the movie story, which is just well going by the story of the mission with the movie, and
Sandman, Venom.
yeah. And then you've got just things that aren't much to do with it, like you get Scorpion in there and the Rhino, the Kingpin.
I like the Rhino.
Like that. What?
I like the Rhino.
Yeah.
Now you've played, this is for the Xbox 360, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now you've played the first Spider-Man. Was that on the PS1?
I think that was PS2.
And then the second Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
This is the third one. How does it compare to the other two?
Well, I think it got better since the first one. I mean, the first one you couldn't even go near the floor. And then it got better. So
is this the best one?
Yeah. You do the movie story, and it's not exactly correct, but you start off the first story fight is with Harry on the hoverboard, and then you go to Sandman, and then you just do the final fight, which is pretty good.
So in the final fight, you're fighting Sandman and Venom?
You start off fighting Venom, and then you switch to Harry and start fighting Sandman, and then you finish off Venom.
Alright, so how many Ingy thumbs up?
I'm giving it 9.
9?
Yeah.
That's the most you've ever given anything.
Oh, it's good.
It's the best game you've reviewed.
Yeah.
Shame about the film though, wasn't it?
I liked it.
You thought it was better than Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
Well, it's not.
Well, that's what you think.
Yeah.
That's
You got
not
a
what
problem
I
with that?
think.
I don't care what you think. You're a kid. I'm an adult.
Yeah, I thought it was there.
Do you have to get the last word in?
Yeah.
All right, then. What are you doing next month?
Don't know yet.
No idea. You've got no
Okay,
idea, have
right.
you? No preparation. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, see you later. Bye.
Bye. Should we play Jim's Phantom Crapper song?
Sure.
Here it is.
In a deserted train carriage, the phantom's trousers are down. Doesn't know how he got here, doesn't make a sound. And suddenly there's movement, his bowels have released his pain. So on his Northern Line canvas, his poo decorates this train. I hear the Northern Line calling, and my pants are down. Resistance proves a bit futile, there's excrement on the ground. I tried to tell them my problem, they just wouldn't listen. So I'm the Phantom Crapper.
Good in the London transport system.
They caught me with my pants off on a number 53. The psychiatrist they sent me asked me why I defecate so verily. I said on tubes and trains and buses you will find my filthy excrement. And when I deposit my water slowed I feel I was heaven sent. I had another Line calling, my pants are down. Resistance proved to be futile, there's excrement on the ground. I tried to tell them my problem, they just wouldn't listen. So I'm the Phantom Crapper.
Good in the London transport system.
Yeah, I'm the Phantom Crapper.
Good in the London transport system.
Very good.
Is that better?
Yeah. Originally.
Thanks for that, Jim. And I will follow that up with a story, a true story, that he emailed me that's got a Phantom Crapper flavour. He said, all right, just listening to the show again and remembered an incident that happened to me once. I was on a first date. I took a girl I had met to a new bar in town a few years ago. This would be Sheffield, I imagine. And I was having a pleasant evening and a civilised drink with her. I noticed a man in the bar who looked a bit scruffy with a big beard, and I thought it a bit odd because he looked like a homeless alcoholic man, yet was being served by the student barmaid. He sat down on a table near us with his pint and drank it quietly. A bit later, I noticed a pungent aroma in the air and realised the pint had loosened him up a bit. Eventually, the bar staff clocked what had happened, and he was led out by a member of staff. The funniest part for me was that as he walked out, he left a small trail of poo balls from his trousers leg across the entire length of the bar. This caused a domino effect on the unsuspecting people's faces in the area. I thought, by this caused a domino effect, I thought it was going to say everybody in the bar crapped themselves, but no. Needless to say, he took away some of the romance of the evening. However, I did steal a kiss on my way home. Glad to hear the Phantom Crapper is back on the streets. I like how he says it took away some of the romance, but I did steal a kiss. So it was like, oh, come on, you've seen him crap himself. You've had a good time. I've paid for the drinks. You can at least kiss me. Anyway, we can't get away from the Phantom Crapper. I've tried to move away. I've tried to sort of, take us out of the gutter, but it doesn't seem possible.
Well, since we're in the gutter, have you heard about Ali?
Ali?
The new diet that's sweeping America?
No.
It's this new drug that's been approved by the FDA as a diet aid. So it's obviously been touted as the new wonder drug. Basically, what it does, it stops your body absorbing the fat. So then obviously, if you eat food, if you're not going to absorb the fat, you're going to lose weight.
Yeah.
But the way it works is the body literally does not absorb the fat at all. So it just goes straight in and straight out.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Well, it is because basically, you take it, and
yourself.
people have been having the side effect of just crapping themselves
So you have
uncontrollably.
to wear incontinence.
Well, yeah, even says on their own website, it lists some of the possible side effects, which is excessive gas, loose and uncontrollable stools.
Uncontrollable? What's that? Like runs out the door?
It's basically telling you that you're going to crap yourself. Even recommendations are that you wear dark clothes, that you take a second set of clothes with you to work because you're going to crap yourself.
Yeah.
Don't take it on long journeys because you're going to crap yourself.
Yeah.
Take it on a weekend so that you can stay in the house near the toilet because you're going to crap yourself.
But isn't the point, don't eat fat and you'll lose weight? Because that pill is saying you can still eat fat, your body won't absorb it.
Exactly. It's one of those diets where you don't really have to take any responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you have to take some responsibility if you crap yourself in public. I saw I think there's one in Italy that's been developed that is this tiny little pill, but when you take it, it swells up, it like multiplies in size and fills your stomach up, so you don't get hungry, but you've got this big ball of whatever it is in your stomach.
Right.
But there are all sort of ways. I mean, if you really want to lose weight, you can't be taking a pill all the time that swells up in your stomach. You've just got to stop eating as much, haven't you?
Yeah.
Obviously, you're online, but can you get on the internet and talk at the same time?
Yes, with the modern wonders of technology.
Richard, so what we're going to do is we're going to choose from publicdomaintorrents.com a B movie, and Barry's going to watch it and then tell us if it's any good. He's going to be forced to sit through some of the worst films ever made, so bad that nobody even wants to claim copyright on them. He's going to see if he can find any little gems in the public domain. Now, I know of at least 5 films that I think are really good. But like I said, this week he's going to start with Deep Red, which is good. So if anybody hasn't seen Deep Red, go to publicdomaintorrents.com, download it and watch it. It's brilliant. What do you think he should watch next month? What have you got in front of you?
Oh, Jesse James meets Frankenstein's daughter. Sounds interesting.
Jesse James meets Frankenstein's daughter. That's a possibility. What else?
Well, there's so much to choose from. It's hard to hear.
I know. I'll tell you what is good in the horror category. Vincent Price, Last Man on Earth, based on I Am Legend.
Oh, so yeah, that's actually quite good.
Have you read the I Am Legend book?
I don't believe I have.
But you know the story.
Is it a short story or a full?
I think it might be. Richard, I think it might be a novella.
Oh.
But, the Will Smith film has been made based on it, which I'm sure will be pretty poor. There was the Charlton Heston, the 70s version, the Amiga Man. But the Vincent Price one's brilliant, and it's free to download. And if anybody hasn't seen it, I would definitely recommend downloading it and watching it.
I'm quite taken by the look of Oasis of the Zombies.
Oasis of the Zombies. That's what it is.
It's an expedition searching for treasure, supposedly buried by the German army in the African desert during World War II. Comes up against the army of Nazi zombies guarding the fortune.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I suspect it's not a good film.
Hello.
Barry.
Hello, mate.
You sound very surprised.
Yeah, just a bit, a bit earlier than expected, but I've just literally just finished watching the film.
I've given this slot the big build-up. Barry's B-movie reviews, going through the public domain so other people don't have to. Talking all about Deep Red, but you couldn't download it.
No, there's not enough people out there in the internet land with Deep Red on their computers, so we need more people to go and download it so I can download it and review it.
So that's one of the problems with this idea.
Yeah.
But I sent you The Last Man on Earth as a backup.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I thought it was brilliant. It's really weird because Because it's based on the Robert Matheson book I Am Legend, and I know that I know the background to the story, that it's about a character a man who is the last man on Earth, surprise.
Yeah.
He is the rest of the world has been infected by a disease, and for some reason he's been able to survive, and they can only come out at night. Like, he accuses them of being vampires. They come out at night and they're all after him, and during the day he finds their lairs and drives a stake through their hearts.
Because he hates them.
I remember reading about it. Will Smith just made a modern update of it.
Yeah.
With I can't remember the director's name. He did Constantine, but that's all set in New York. And I remember Schwarzenegger there's a lot of talk about. I think Ridley Scott and Arnold Schwarzenegger was supposed to be making it years and years and years.
Yeah, there was an old Schwarzenegger script. But do you think there's any way that the Will Smith film is going to have the same ending as the Vincent Price film?
No.
It's not, is it? I
would be, although because it's suddenly, without wanting to give the story, I think that I'm assuming, I would assume the Vincent Price version is very close to the original story.
Yeah.
Because I think it does. It question, as with all good, they keep accusing all the creatures of being vampires. And to me, they're not vampires; they're a bit more zombies.
Yeah.
Although there's always an argument as well, because they're not resurrected. Although they do come back from the dead, don't they?
Well, the idea is that they're vampires, but because there's no one left to feed on, they're all weak and feeble.
Ah, right, yeah. Yeah, so, but there's the whole mentality, I mean, as with all good B movies, there's a whole sort of political subtext going on, to do with, whose side you're on. And also kind of, it leads up to the question about who's the monster, I think is always the good question. That it kind of it leads the Vincent Price version leads you with, and it's great. I mean, it's obviously made in Italy somewhere. They've flown Vincent Price into a small town in Italy. So it looks kind of fantastic. It's always beautiful black and white cinematography.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's really alien looking because you're not used to seeing that. And Vincent Price is the only one whose voice sounds normal, because everyone else is really heavily dubbed. Especially his best friend, who comes back as the sort of main monster who's trying to break into his house.
Yeah.
And it's all incredibly suburban as well. He lives in like a semi-detached house, and there's a hearse outside that he jumps in and carts all the bodies off it. And every night they come and they stand outside his house and shout at him and try and break in. So you liked it? I did. I really, really enjoyed it. I think I was talking to a friend about it. I was talking about this whole, all these films that you've been talking about, and that you were kind of pointing me in the direction of. And he was like saying, isn't it? It's a great idea because it's a film mainly about one bloke wandering around in his own, and there's a huge chunk of it was just him sort of talking about what his life's like. And Vincent Price is a great sort of act. You'd watch him. You don't mind seeing him sit there and doing nothing. No. It's a great. The first night that that you see him, there's a great scene where he comes in, locks himself in, sticks on a bit of jazz, gets pissed. Yeah. And while the monsters are all outside. I don't think that's going to be in the Will Smith version either. No, I think the rumour is in the Will Smith version that it's just Manhattan as well. Yeah. He's chosen to stay behind, which sort of defeats the object completely. And also there's the Charlton Heston version, the Amiga Man, which again is a pretty loose adaptation. But that's good. So you like the first one we chose for you. That's good. It's free. If people want to go and find it, Last Man on Earth, public domain torrents.com or any sort of file sharing network should have it. I talked to Richard. We looked through what was available, and next month we chosen Oasis of the Zombies for you. Okay. Is there going to be a theme to all that? Or is it just zombie films that have all fallen out into the public domain? I have no idea. Maybe. But this is in the top 20 seeded, so you should be able to download it. I'm looking forward to it. I think it would be good. And I'll try and do Deep Red as well. Maybe I'll do a double whammy. Well, I've actually downloaded Deep Red, so I can post that for you. Cool.
So, but we'll do Oasis of the Zombies next month.
Okay, Oasis Zombies is next.
Yeah. I'm going to play now. Craig Duncan and Mike Latham, who we both know,
Yeah?
have sent us in some birthday wishes, and Craig has written us a little birthday song. So I'm going to play
that's
that. Yeah, so I'm going to play that now. All right, thanks, Barry.
It's not it's not the traditional one, is it?
No, it's very short and it's good. But, well, this is it. Have a listen.
I got a solar vegetable boudoir. My life was shit, so I got a geothermal sandwich hallway. It still wasn't it, so I got an electric soup kitchen. And now I have a girlfriend and a baby and a house and a car. Happy birthday.
Electric soup kitchen. From me, round cat.
Oh, hello? Yes? Okay. Happy birthday to everybody at the Electric Soup Kitchen. Oh, such a great show, the Electric Soup Kitchen. I always love it. Happy birthday, yes, from everyone here at Roomy Radio. Yes.com. Marcus and I, just in case you're wondering how we know each other, have known each other on and off, mostly off, for over a decade. We first met in Sheffield, where we were studying at Halen University at the Northern Media School. Film and TV production we were studying, and Christ, he made my life hell. I was lodging with a young mountaineering couple in a lovely terraced house. Not that's particularly interesting to anybody, but they couldn't get used to me hanging around their lovely terrace house, so I had to move out, which is fair enough. But Marcus, however, disseminated the slanderous lie that I was evicted because the young lovers could no longer bear the sound of my headboard thumping against the wall as I pleasured myself on a seemingly hourly basis. A hideous slander that was to plague me for the next 2 years, which I hold responsible for my name morphing from Mike to Knob to Nobby to Snoop Nobby Knob, and finally Snoop. God, I was never known by my own name for 2 whole years. So happy birthday, Marcus, you bastard. And I'll see you in hell. But no, honestly, fellas. Thanks for the inspiration, fellas. Keep it up. And hope we can see you over here in Roomy Radio HQ soon. I always listen to the show, Soup Kitchen. And I look forward to another whole year of the damn thing. Okay, all the best. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye.
Oh, I've got a question I wanted to ask you, Richard. You're a technical man. You know your computers.
I do.
I got an email. Well, it was junk email. It was spam email, but it was nonsense. The headline was Caveman Computation Benefactor. And then the body of the email was Bangladesh Conflagrate Demo Bomb Brassy Advent Contention. And it goes on like that. Collapsible adulterous bison clone is one sentence. I don't know, what is the point of that? Why do you get junk mail with nonsense in it?
Well, usually they've got an attachment, or usually there is some sort of advert in there. If there's a picture, usually. And also the nonsense is to get past your spam filters.
So maybe my mail is blocking out the images.
Yeah. Also, it could just be that the guy sending the spam has set his program up wrong. It's not sending out the attachment properly, or the main body of the message is just sending the filter bypasser, as it were.
I was confused by that. Unless they're selling collapsible adulterous bison clones.
It could be. That could be the next big thing.
Yeah. But then again, the headline, Caveman Computation Benefactor, doesn't really make sense. Good name for a band. Talking of bands, I came across something by the Bordens, who are a family band. They're from Dryden, Ontario, in Canada. And they're composed of the father, George Borden, plays accordion. Mum, Jeanette Borden, she plays a mean Electrovox organ. And then sons Roger, saxophone and guitar, and Gary, drums. And finally, nephew, Bill Drombardi, who plays guitar. I found this version online of them doing the Star Wars theme, which I thought I'd have to share with everybody. Seeing as we're carrying on from the Star Wars birthday celebrations, here is the Bordens performing the Star Wars theme. Also, Richard, as a little extra special birthday treat this month, we're going to have the return of Unky Dunky.
Oh, the comic.
Yeah.
The Butcher comic.
The Butcher from Brooklyn, his self-financed comedy album. If anybody hasn't heard the episode that Unky Dunky, we originally played him in, I promised he would be in every month and then didn't play him for 2 months. But I've now sat through the entire first half hour of the Unky Dunky album and cut it down into chunks, manageable chunks. I finally forced myself to do that. And yeah, in a nutshell, he's a butcher from Brooklyn who did a self-financed comedy album in the 80s, mainly about his nephew Mortimer. And he's added a lot of sound effects of applauses and drum crashes and cymbal crashes and drum rolls to enhance his comedy performance. So here we go. The second installment should be a regular thing of Unky Dunky.
Ladies and gentlemen, comic sensation of the nation, Unky Dunky the Bologna Slicer. Unky Dunky. Mortimer thinks the world is on the level. I don't know. Maybe the world is on the level. It's the people in it who are unbound, like his cuckoo boy girlfriend, a real winner, if you know what I mean. And right now, Mortimer is a real loser, if you know what I mean. He's very broken-hearted. I'm trying to wisen him up. The poor kid is down and out. When he comes to his senses, he'll be down and in. I feel sorry for Mortimer. He's a real nice kid. All American, like Joe Namath, without the pantyhose. He could get anybody. All the girls are just plain crazy about him. And his girlfriend, Vicky, is just plain crazy. Thank you. Thank you.
Right, Richard, I think I'm going to go get a Wii.
Yeah?
We've
No, it
talked
did look
about
very
it before.
good.
Yeah, we've talked about it before because of the Godzilla game, and that's out in September. But I think I'm going to go get one early. I don't think I can hold it off anymore.
Well, you have to remember that limber up first before you start playing. There's been a lot of injuries.
Have there?
Of people leaping in there, yeah.
What, people try to sue Nintendo, you mean?
No, just a lot of people getting hurt because it's very physically intensive, especially when you get into playing it.
Yeah, I know. I suppose it depends on the game, but I imagine in a fighting game, might be quite a lot of movement.
Oh yeah, you have to set up a webcam.
Well, it comes with a. Yeah, I don't think I'll be setting up a webcam of me playing on the Wii, but it comes with a sports game, and that's got a boxing in it, and it's got bowling in it that's meant to be good. So I think between now and the next episode, I'm going to go out and buy a Wii, and I'll report on that.
Oh, you're not going to rush out and buy an iPhone?
What are they? What are they? They're like $200, $500 or something?
500 and 600.
Yeah.
Thereabouts.
Yeah, I can't see it. I won't be shelling out for that. I've just shelled out on this new microphone.
Well, I'm sure Apple will send you one to review.
Well, I'll send them an email.
Which has been a bit lacking, I think, from the corporate world sending us things.
All we've had is a DVD, Good Cop, Bon Cop, and I tried to give it away, and no one wanted it.
Did we ever do the forced reviewer for that one? Yeah, we were going to send it to him and just...
Well, that was initially what I said to Barry. Barry said, he sent me an email. He said, if nobody
Well, I
wants
thought we were
that
going to send it at random to someone, just completely random address.
Did we talk about that?
Yeah, I thought we did.
That's a good idea, though, actually, the chain DVD. Have you heard about that system of books? And once you've read a book, you leave it in a public place, and you can go online and print out some stickers that say, please take this book and read it and pass it on.
No, that's kind of a good idea.
Yeah, and I've seen those books left around. Well, I've seen one left around in Heathrow Airport. And yeah, you basically read the book, leave it on the tube, leave it on the bus, and you stick your sticker on it saying, take it and read it.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. I like things like that. Especially in this day and age of declining books.
Yeah. But no, it does make a sort of sense. I don't know if you could do the same thing with films, but yeah, well, you could. I mean, if you left a DVD.
Yeah.
Mind you, if you left it on the tube, people would think it was probably going to blow up or something. You'd probably shut the whole system down if you left a box.
That's probably what happened in London. That guy had all that gasoline. You know, to share it.
Well, you just left it. Please take car full of gasoline and nails. Please redistribute.
Yeah, he's been building a shed or something. Got these nails left over.
Yeah. What are you going to do with all this petrol? Yeah, so London is a hotbed of terrorist activity. We've got guys leaving car bombs that don't blow up, and guys blowing up rucksacks full of chapati flour on the buses. It's not safe to leave the house. Having said that, I'm going to get blown up now, aren't I? Between now and next month.
For that flippant remark. We in hand.
Okay. Oh, there was one more thing. I forgot about this. On John, our illustrator, if anybody's listening to this in iTunes, they should be able to see his illustrations illustrating some of the stuff we're talking about in the player window. But he, at the moment, is in Japan, and I said to him, well, why don't you do some reports, and you can record them, and I'll play them in the podcast as some sort of like a Japanese diary. But he didn't want to do that. I think he thought it was a bit embarrassing. But he sent me a little. He wrote me some stuff like impressions of Japan, because it's a place that I'd love to go to. I don't know if I'll ever get the chance, but it's somewhere that I'd love to go. I love a lot of like Japanese films and a lot of Japanese culture, so it sounds like an amazing place. But these are Harry's observations. He says there's machines selling beer and cigarettes on almost every street corner, yet no pissed teenagers. He says none of the machines have been vandalized or ram raided. He said that's either the sign of a healthy society or a despondent teenage population. But it's interesting that, I mean, if you can imagine vending machines with cigs and booze in on street corners in the UK.
Yeah.
That weren't vandalised.
Well, most places, yeah.
Yeah. I think this is a bit more well known that Japanese women can sell their knickers, used knickers, to sex shops for a good price. There's also the capsule hotels. You've seen those, haven't you? Where it's like a little pod. And he says they're usually they're real, and they're used by drunk businessmen who've missed the last train home. And it costs about £15 to stay in one. He said the standard of food is great. He said even the most scummy looking cafes, the food is great. He said people work really hard and are really proud of their jobs. He said it's even true of the crappy jobs like wiping tables in McDonald's. He said he finds it fairly humbling to have someone bow and say thank you very much indeed after taking his order for a cup of coffee. I've had similar experiences in America, actually, being waited up by somebody who really takes pride in waiting on people. It's not an experience you get in the UK, is it?
No.
And I mean, you must have had the same thing when you first started going to the States. Your first reaction is you think somebody's taking the piss, don't you?
Oh, yeah, especially like salespeople.
Yeah.
Like, a couple of times James told me off for being rude. Yeah, quite a salesperson. Hi, how are you? Don't talk to me, I'm shopping. Yeah, no, it's very, very strange.
Because in England, the idea of waiting on somebody at any level, you think is a bit insulting, don't you? You think that who are you for me to be waiting on you, mate? It's a class thing, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he was saying that subcultures. He said goths. Well, he says in England, goths have always seemed like a fairly unimpressive bunch. He said, but Gothic in Japan means Gothic in the right sense of the word. You can see them walking around dressed in 16th century clothes, wearing wigs, fake eyelashes, coloured contact lenses. Strangely, it's all very mildly done. There's no angsty undercurrent. They all seem part of the country's tradition, happy to be gawped at and photographed. And but there's another kind of social group who are teenage boys and girls who think they look good wearing absurd amounts of fake tan, with mullet hairstyles and backcombing until they look like Rod Stewart. He says, but in spite of their appearance, they're the most dangerous subcultural group. So the fake tan and mullets are the ones you've got to be careful around.
Well, that's always been the way. History.
Well, he says, I hope that's been of some interest. Well, thanks, John. It was. I'm very jealous. Happy birthday, Electric Super Kitchen. Sayonara.
Oh,
yeah, I'd
I
love
have
to
to
go.
ask him if he has any pictures to.
He sent lots of pictures. Lots of pictures. So hopefully, if you're listening to that on iTunes, they'll come up. That you'll have seen them all. Well, that was episode 10. 1 year in. Do you think we've got another year in us?
Oh, I'm sure we have.
Really? You're sure?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so here's to the next 10, possibly even 12 episodes. We'll end with a bit more Legion of Rockstars. This is their version of Black Dog, the Led Zeppelin song. Their web page is www.mottstudios.com. MOTT studios.com. You can also find them on YouTube. Search for Legion of Rockstars and MySpace. Anything to add, Richard?
Just about everyone's rushing out to buy us all presents. We will accept them late and birthday cards.
Well,
or if just everyone buys a piece of cake and eats it in our honour.
That's a good idea. Eat some cake. I'll tell you what people could do if they wanted to transmit a birthday gift. Go to iTunes and leave us a review. That would be really helpful. All right then, Richard. I'll talk to you next month.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Hey, mama said the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. Now the way you like that thing, gonna take his band, gonna make it sting. Hey baby, when you walk that way, watch honey drip, can't keep away. Still got a baby heart, can't get my fill.